At the end of the last video, I mentioned we'd talk about using your requirements list as a negotiating tool. We're going to get there, but first, I want to give you the survival kit. The 5 things you absolutely need to have in place before anything else matters. If you're drowning right now, this is your starting point. This video is for people who need to get their project under control today. Not theory, not best practices, just the essentials, the minimum viable process to stop drowning. If you watch 2 videos in this whole series, watch this one and the first one, everything else goes deeper. But these 5 things are the foundation. The rest of the series will expand on each of these, but you can start here and make real progress before you watch another minute. Here they are, 5 things. Memorize these. Essential 1, you need a list, one place where all the requirements live. Essential 2, prioritize ruthlessly. The list has to be ordered, not just categorized. Essential 3, deliver regularly, and notice when you're not delivering. Essential 4, define what done means before you start working. Minimize handoffs. Cross-functional teams beat specialists with handoffs every single time. Every time work moves from one team to another, you pay a tax. In time, in miscommunication, in waiting. Cross-team dependencies are where projects go to die. If you can build a team that can deliver end to end without waiting on anyone else, do it. Let's go through each one. Essential number 1, you need a list. One place where all the requirements live. Not 3 spreadsheets, not a mix of emails and sticky notes in someone's memory. One list. The tool doesn't matter. Azure DevOps, GitHub, Jira, Trello, a spreadsheet. I don't care. Pick something and use it consistently. Here's the rule. If it's not on the list, it doesn't exist. Someone has a great idea, put it on the list. Bug report, on the list. Stakeholder request, on the list. Everything goes through the list. Why? Because you can't prioritize what you can't see. You can't negotiate trade-offs if you don't have evidence of what you're trading off against. Essential number 2, prioritize ruthlessly. Your list needs to be ordered, not just categorized. Not, these are all high priority. Actually ordered. Number 1 is more important than number 2. Period. No ties. These 3 are equally important as a cop-out. If you could only do one of them, which would it be? That's number 1. Repeat until everything is ordered. Someone has to make the call. Product owner, product manager, project lead. Someone owns the order. Prioritization by committee leads to paralysis. And remember, if everything is priority 1, nothing is. The whole point of prioritization is to make hard choices. If you're not making hard choices, you're not prioritizing. Essential number 3, deliver regularly. Throughput, how often you actually finish things, is the metric that matters. Not how busy you are, not how much is in progress, how much is getting done. Option A, work in iterations. Fixed time boxes, I suggest 2 weeks. At the end of each iteration, ask, did we finish anything? If not, that's a red flag. Option B, if you're not doing iterations, track days since your last completed item. Have some awareness of when that number gets too high. 3 days? Fine. 10 days? Something's wrong. Either way, the point is to notice when nothing's finishing. Busy isn't the same as productive. Work in progress isn't the same as work done. Here's the question you should be asking regularly. When was the last time we actually finished something and delivered it? Not mostly done, not just needs testing. Actually done, in the hands of users or stakeholders. If you can't answer that question with a date in the last 2 weeks, you might have a throughput problem. And throughput problems hide. They feel like busyness. Everyone's working hard, but nothing's arriving. Essential number 4, define what done means. Write it down. What does done actually mean for your team? Is it just code written, code reviewed, tested, documented, deployed to production? Make the list comprehensive. Everything that needs to be true before you call something done. If you'd be embarrassed to ship it without code review, then code review is part of your definition of done. This prevents the 90% done syndrome. You know what I'm talking about. Something's been 90% done for 3 weeks. With a real definition of done, it's either done or it isn't. No gray area. And here's the big one. A good definition of done prevents you from shipping new technical debt. If tests pass is on your DoD, you can't skip tests to hit a deadline. The definition protects you. Here's what a real definition of done might look like. Yours will be different, but it should cover these categories. Code, written, reviewed, and merged. This merged thing is essential, especially for teams that use Git for version control. If someone says it's done, but the code is still sitting in a feature branch, that means it hasn't been integrated yet. Therefore, not done. It's got to be merged back to your main branch and integrated with the rest of your code. Testing. Ideally, automated unit tests and automated integration tests. But for sure, someone needs to actually go through the feature and do manual testing to verify it works. Quality, no new bugs, and write automated tests if at all possible. If you're doing automated tests, your code coverage should be maintained or improved. Automated builds. This is a really nice thing to have on day one of a project. There are a zillion ways to achieve this automated build thing, but if you're using GitHub, this is almost certainly going to be GitHub Actions. If you can't get automated builds going on day one, try to get this going as soon as possible. For every commit or check-in to version control, run an automated build. At a minimum, this will check to make sure that your app still compiles. Bonus points for running your automated tests from this build too. Deployment. Deployment is almost certainly part of your delivery process, so at minimum, try to deploy to some kind of environment that looks like production. And bonus points and kudos if you can actually deploy to production as part of your definition of done. Deploying to production in an automated fashion, like GitHub Actions, is basically the holy grail of DevOps, and it's known as continuous delivery. And this is your starting definition of done. Print it out, put it on the wall, make it visible and well known, and reference it every time someone says, "This is done." Essential number 5, minimize handoffs. Every time work moves from one person or team to another, you pay a tax, waiting time, context lost in translation, miscommunication, rework. Cross-functional teams, teams that have everyone they need to deliver end-to-end, always beat specialists with handoffs. Always. Cross-team dependencies are where projects go to die. "We're waiting on Team X" is the most dangerous phrase in project management. You've lost control. If you have any control over team composition, build teams that can deliver without waiting on anyone else. Dev, test, maybe design. Whatever it takes to go from idea to done without a handoff. This raises an important question. What actually makes a group of people a team? A team isn't just people who report to the same manager. That's an org chart, not a team. It's not people who work on the same code base either. You can have 3 groups touching the same code and none of them able to deliver independently. The real test, can they take a requirement from idea to done, actually done according to your definition of done, without waiting on anyone outside the group? If the answer is no, you have dependencies built into your team structure, and those dependencies will slow you down every single day. Here's a quick test you can run right now. Pull up your definition of done. Look at every item on that list. For each item, ask, who does this? Code review, who does it? Testing, who does it? Deployment, who does it? Now ask, are they on the team? Is there someone in your team who owns each of those activities? If not, that's a handoff. If tested is on your DoD, but QA is a separate team, then every single requirement has a mandatory handoff built into it. That's a dependency you'll pay for over and over. We'll go much deeper on team composition later in this series. For now, just be aware. Your team boundaries determine your dependency boundaries. Let me be blunt about dependencies. We're waiting on another team to finish their part. This is a red flag. You've introduced a delay you don't control. Integration surprises. We thought it would work together, but it doesn't. 2 teams building separately, discovering problems late. Classic. Communication overhead, meetings to coordinate, emails to clarify, misunderstandings to resolve. All of this is waste. And when things slip, finger pointing. It's not our fault, we were waiting on them. Dependencies turn teammates into adversaries. Minimize dependencies. Seriously, it's that important. In the beginning, don't even bother estimating. Seriously, skip the story points, skip the planning poker, skip all of it. Just break your work into chunks that the team thinks will take 2 to 4 days. That's it. If someone says this will take 2 weeks, that's a sign it needs to be broken down further. Small chunks, 2 to 4 days, You can get fancy later. And for metrics, keep it dead simple. Basically, just start dates and end dates for work on each item. Record when each requirement starts. This is the moment the team actually begins working on it, not when the requirement was created or scheduled. It's the moment when someone, ideally the whole team, the moment the team starts doing the work. Record when the work finishes. Put another way, record when it hits done, according to the team's definition of done. 99% done is not done. Only 100% done is done. That's literally it, 2 dates per item. Start date, finish date. You don't need anything else to begin with. Those 2 dates give you 2 metrics that you'll ultimately care about, throughput and cycle time. And here's the thing that is truly awesome about this 2 dates approach. You don't even need to know what those 2 metrics mean right now. Just capture the dates. When you're ready to do forecasting, the data will be there for you. If you want to go deeper on flow metrics and the art of not estimating, I have a whole course on that. The link is in the description for this video. But for now, 2 dates. Start and finish. Keep it simple and focus on done. Here's your quick start checklist. 6 things you can do today. 1. Create or consolidate your requirements list. One source of truth. 2. Order the top 10 items. No dependencies allowed. Well, sometimes dependencies are non-negotiable. Try really, really, really hard to not have any dependencies. If everything has a dependency, something's probably messed up. 3. Decide. Iterations or tracking days since delivery. If there's any doubt about which way to go, keep it simple and just track days. If you're going to do iterations or sprints, then make the duration 2 weeks. Whichever way you decide to go, make sure you're delivering to definition of done regularly. 4. Write down your definition of done. 5. Run the DoD test. For every item on your definition of done, is there someone on the team who does it? Ideally, anyone on the team could do any item on the definition of done. But if you start seeing lots of items that need someone from another team or another department, that's a handoff. See if you can do something to avoid that. And 6. Add start date and finish date columns to your list. That's your metrics foundation. All of these are doable today, not next week. Today, and they'll help you to get started right. That's the survival kit, but there's a lot more to learn. The rest of this series goes deeper on each of these essentials. How to use your list as a negotiating tool, how to write requirements that tell a story, how to prioritize without drama. We'll spend several videos on quality gates, definition of done, definition of ready, acceptance criteria. These are force multipliers. We'll go deep on team composition, vertical slicing, and managing dependencies. These are the skills that separate teams who deliver from teams who struggle. But you don't need any of that to get started. The 5 essentials are enough to stop drowning. Master these first. All right, let's lock these in. You need one list where everything lives, and it needs to be ordered. No ties. Someone owns that order. Deliver regularly, iterations or tracking days, and notice when nothing's finishing. Busy isn't the same as productive. Define what done means before you start. Write it down, make it comprehensive. This prevents 90% done and new technical debt. Minimize handoffs. A real team can deliver together without waiting on anyone else. If your DoD requires people outside the team, you have built-in dependencies. And skip the estimation drama, break work into 2 to 4 day chunks, capture start dates and finish dates. That's all you need to get started. Next up, we're going to talk about how your requirements list becomes a negotiating tool, how to use it to have rational conversations about trade-offs instead of just reacting to whoever yells loudest. See you there.